A man lies dead, yet the letter moves still. Basil Fenner sat alone in his parlor. The clock struck 5. His pipe lay cold, the curtains half drawn. At 5:10, he was gone. Not from the room, from life itself. His body slumped forward. The doorstopper lay nearby, heavy, stained. The maid screamed. Her cry echoed. Neighbors rushed. Inspector Slack entered. His eyes scanned. "Don't touch," he barked. The maid froze. Slack bent low, checked the head wound. One blow, clean, fatal. He stood tall. "Lock the door. Nobody leaves." The village gathered outside, faces pale, voices hushed. Who would kill him? A whisper came back. Dora Pike. Slack heard it. He turned sharp. On what ground? The shopkeeper muttered. "She quarreled with him, yesterday. Everyone saw." Slack nodded once. "Bring her name in the report." The constable wrote fast. Fenner's desk searched. Papers scattered. No forced entry. No theft. "Personal," Slack said. "A grudge." He stepped back. Eyes on the clock. "Time of death, 5:10. Remember it." Dora Pike walked past in memory, her hands shaking, her voice sharp. "I'll not forget your lies, Fenner." Many had heard. Slack fixed the pieces. A quarrel, a threat, a death, a name. The constable whispered, "Sir, villagers grow restless." Slack replied, cold. "They will wait. Murder is no market tale." The body carried out, sheet drawn, steps slow, faces turned. At the end, Dora's name spread again. She hated him. She left in anger. She swore revenge. Slack drank the words. Each one pointed her way. Each one built his case. Marple sat quiet in the corner, her knitting still, her eyes sharp. She said nothing. The night passed heavy. Rain tapped the windows. Fenner's house stood locked, the village uneasy. Slack closed his book. "Tomorrow we question her." His jaw firm, his mind set. Morning broke. The postman walked slow, a letter in hand, addressed to Slack. He entered the station, placed it down. "Posted at 7:42, sir. Stamped and sealed." Slack frowned. He opened it. Inside, a note. Neat writing, accusing Dora Pike. His hand froze. His eyes narrowed. How? Fenner was dead at 5:10. The room fell still. The case had shifted. The killer had written. The unopened letter lay on the desk, stamped after the murder. Posted at 7:42, but Fenner died at 5:10. Inspector Slack held the envelope. His thumb pressed the stamp. The mark read clear, 7:42, same day. He muttered low, "Impossible." The constable leaned closer. "Sir?" Slack tapped the paper. Fenner was dead by 5:10, yet this is stamped more than 2 hours later. The men stared. The maid crossed herself. Fear spread. Slack tore the flap. Unfolded the sheet. His eyes narrowed. Words plain. Dora Pike. Accused. He read aloud. She struck. She cursed. She came back. She killed. Gasps filled the room. The constable whispered, "Her name again, sir." Slack closed his fist. "Coincidence ends here. This letter seals it." He looked to the postman. "You swear this was stamped?" The postman nodded. "Stamped in the box. I checked the record. It entered the late slot." Slack paced once. 7:42. But Fenner was gone. Who writes from the grave? Marple's voice broke the silence. "Perhaps not the grave, Inspector. Perhaps the living hand of another." Slack turned fast, her eyes steady, her tone quiet. No more said. The constable added, "Sir, the village will hear. This letter spreads faster than truth." Slack grunted. Then truth must run harder. He sealed the letter back. "Call Dora Pike. Bring her at once." The constable hurried. Marple watched still, her knitting untouched. An hour later Dora entered, her face pale, her hands clenched, her eyes red. Slack held up the letter. "Your name sits in ink. Explain it." She blinked fast. "I did not write it." Slack leaned forward. You quarreled. You threatened. He died. Now his hand points at you. Dora gasped. Number I left him early, before 5. Ask anyone. Slack snapped. Time. She answered quick. 4:40. I was at my shop by 5. Customers saw me. Slack shook his head. Easy words, hard proof. She cried louder. Check. I sold bread at 6. 2 villagers paid me. They will swear it. Slack frowned. His mind tugged. The time clashed. The words bit. He turned to Marple. She lies? Marple said soft. She swears truth. We must test it. Slack slammed his hand on the desk. I deal in facts. This letter is fact. Marple answered calm. Or forgery? Not all ink speaks true. Slack glared, yet her eyes held firm. Doubt pressed his chest. The constable entered. Sir, 1 villager confirms. He bought bread from Dora at 6. Slack froze. The letter burned in his palm. If Dora stood in her shop, how could she write after death? His case cracked, his voice low. Then who wrote this? Dora swore again. I left Fenner early. I was in my shop. I can prove it. Every crime leaves a stitch out of place. The station felt heavy. Voices hushed. All eyes turned to the table. The letter lay between them. Inspector Slack stood stiff. Dora Pike, pale. The constable, uneasy. Miss Marple sat quiet. Her hands rested, her needles idle, her eyes sharp. She leaned forward. May I? She asked. Slack frowned. This is police matter. Marple smiled faintly. Yes, but police sometimes overlook the small. Slack grunted. He looked at Dora, then back at the letter. Finally, he gave a short nod. Go on, then. See what you will. Marple lifted the envelope. She held it close, her nose near, her eyes narrowed. She said, soft. Postmark, 7:42, clear. Yet Fenner was dead at 5:10. That is 2 hours before. Slack snapped. We know that. Marple did not move. Her gaze traced the ink, the edges of the stamp, the grain of the paper. She spoke again. The ink is wrong, ballpoint. Fenner used fountain. His desk still shows it. Dora gasped. You see, I told you. Slack scowled. Means nothing. He might have changed pens. Marple shook her head. Number men of habit do not change in final hours. She touched the stamp, pressed gently, brought her fingers back, smelled them. Clove oil, she whispered. Slack leaned closer. What of it? Clove oil is used by philatelists, Marple explained. To loosen stamps, to reuse. This was not a letter sent in the ordinary way. The constable's brow furrowed. You mean someone faked it? Marple nodded once. Yes, someone clever, someone who knew the system. Dora cried. Then I am innocent. Slack raised a hand. Calm yourself. This proves nothing yet. Marple's eyes stayed firm. It proves one thing. The letter was not written at the time claimed. It was created to mislead. Slack paced, his boots heavy. He muttered. Forgery. Trickery. Lies. But who? The constable spoke. Sir, perhaps the postmaster should be asked? Slack waved him quiet. One step at a time. Marple set the letter down, her voice calm. Inspector, truth lies in detail. You search wide. I search small. Small threads mend the whole cloth. Slack sneered. You talk of cloth. I deal with men's lives. Marple answered softly. They are the same, Inspector. Both unravel when one stitch is cut. Dora stared at her. Then you believe me? Marple gave no direct reply. Her eyes returned to the envelope. Her fingers tapped the corner. Slack folded his arms. Enough games. We need proof, hard proof. Marple leaned back. Her eyes never left the stamp, her tone steady. Then allow me to examine the envelope myself. All fell silent as Marple reached for the letter, ready to uncover what others had missed. A smell lingers where hands worked too hard. Marple held the envelope steady. Her eyes narrowed. Her fingers traced the edge. Slack stood over her, his arms crossed, his jaw tight. Dora held her breath. Her hands trembled. She leaned forward. Marple spoke low. "This paper speaks, if you listen." She pressed the corner. The flap lifted slightly. A faint stain showed. Marple touched it. She lifted her fingers to her nose. She inhaled. "Clove oil," she whispered. The constable frowned. "Clove oil? For what?" Marple replied, calm. "It softens gum, used by collectors, to move stamps without tearing." Slack muttered. "A trick, then. Someone tampered." Marple nodded once. "Yes. This was not sealed in haste. It was worked, handled, altered." Dora gasped. "Then he did not write it?" Marple ignored her. She studied the ink. The strokes shone under light. She tapped the paper. "Ballpoint," she said. "Not fountain. Fenner's desk holds a fountain pen. His habits were strict. He did not use this." Slack scowled. "You're guessing." Marple shook her head. "Not guess. Pattern. People rarely change tools of habit in final hours." The constable leaned close. "She's right, sir. Fenner's letters at his desk. All fountain. Everyone?" Slack waved him back. "Even so, someone else could write with his hand." Marple smiled faintly. "Yes, but note the strokes. Heavy, pressed, not Fenner's style. He wrote light, with flow. This hand pressed hard, nervous, forced." She lifted the stamp, tilted it under light. Small perforations showed. Her eyes glinted. "A Perfin," she said. "Business use. This stamp belonged to an office, not a private drawer." Slack leaned closer. "Office? Which office?" Marple lowered the envelope, her tone even. "We shall know. But not today. Today we see only this. This letter was crafted. It was never his." Dora cried out. "You believe me, then?" "Say it. Please." Marple turned her eyes. "I believe the letter lies. That is enough for now." Slack growled. "Enough riddles. Facts only." Marple placed the letter down. Her fingers lingered, her eyes soft but firm. She spoke slow. "Truth hides in detail. Men shout. Paper whispers. This paper whispers falsehood." The constable shifted uneasy. Dora's face lifted with hope. Slack rubbed his temple. Doubt pulled at him. Marple leaned back, her hands folded, her voice calm. "This letter is not his." Her words cut through the room, leaving silence heavy and doubt on every face. Slack pushes, but Marple resists. Inspector Slack slammed his hand on the desk. "Do not twist it, Miss Marple. The letter names Dora Pike. Her quarrel was heard, her threat remembered. The case is plain." Marple sat still, her fingers joined, her eyes steady. "Plain cases often prove crooked, Inspector." Dora cried out. "I told you. I left Fenner early. I was at my shop. Ask them again. Ask the whole street." Slack's jaw tightened. "You had time to return, time to strike, time to post." Dora shook her head. "Number, I never went back." The constable whispered, "Sir, 2 villagers swear she was at the counter. One bought bread, one saw her weigh flour." Slack snapped. "Witnesses lie, shops confuse, customers forget." Marple leaned forward. "Yet the envelope does not forget. The oil, the ink, the Perfin. These are not Dora's." Slack's glare hardened. "Then whose?" "You give shadows, not names." Marple's voice stayed calm. "Patience. Shadows soon turned to faces." Dora sobbed. Her shoulders shook. "I did not kill him. I hated him." "Yes, but I did not kill." Slack turned his back. He faced the wall. He muttered low. "Hatred leads easy to murder." The constable hesitated. "Sir, there is another name." Slack spun. "What name?" The constable lowered his voice. "Colin Fenner, his nephew, young clerk. Quarreled with Basil over money last week, heard by 2 neighbors." Slack frowned. "Heard what?" That Basil refused him, drove him out, shouted that he was useless. The boy swore he'd not forgive. Marple's eyes flickered. A nephew with anger. That is a thread. Slack grumbled. Young hot blood, empty threats. The constable pressed. Sir, he was seen near the parlor gate, evening of the murder. After 5, Dora's head rose, her voice sharp. Then look at him, not me. Look at him. Slack barked. Silence. You are not cleared. Marple's voice stayed even. Yet her point stands. If Colin quarreled, if Colin lingered, he deserves a place in your book, Inspector. Slack rubbed his brow, his voice heavy. Too many names, too many stories. I want one truth. Marple answered soft. One truth comes only when all lies are tested. Slack faced Dora again. You think your alibi strong, but lies fall quick when pressed. Dora met his eyes. I will not bend. Ask anyone. I was in my shop. I never left. Marple watched her closely. No twitch, no hesitation. Her words rang firm. The constable shifted. Sir, villagers grow restless. They want answers. Slack growled. They will get them, not yet. Marple rose from her chair. She spoke calm. Then start with Colin Fenner. His shadow crossed the gate. His anger was known. His presence cannot be ignored. Slack did not answer, but his eyes betrayed thought. A new suspect had entered. A villager stepped forward, whispering, I saw Colin near Fenner's gate. That very evening. 2 suspects, 1 corpse, 1 false letter. Inspector Slack leaned across the desk, his voice hard. Dora Pike, your alibi bends. Witnesses can lie. Shops confuse. You had reason. You had chance. Dora's hands clenched, her eyes fierce. I will not repeat again. I left at 4:40. I was in my shop at 5. Customers saw me. They will swear it till death. Slack struck the desk. Convenient words. Too neat. You forget the letter? The letter damns you. Dora's voice rose. The letter is false. Miss Marple said so. Ink wrong, pen wrong, stamp wrong. Slack waved her off. An old woman's fancies. I need proof, not whispers. Marple sat quiet, her eyes on the table. She said nothing. The constable shifted. Sir, there is Colin Fenner, too. He was near the gate. After 5, Slack turned sharp. Colin denies it. He says he walked the lane, not the garden. No proof he entered. The constable pressed. But his quarrel was loud. He asked for money. Basil mocked him. He swore revenge. Slack snorted. Hot words, but no body lies by his hand. Dora's quarrel was closer, her threat sharper. I will not be swayed by village gossip. Dora trembled, tears in her eyes. You would hang me on 1 false. Sheet? Slack's voice flat. If it fits, yes. Marple lifted her head, her voice soft. Inspector, both suspects stand before you. 1 with alibi, 1 with temper, yet neither answer the letter. The letter is key. Slack glared. You protect her. Always, you protect the weak. But weak hands kill, too. Marple did not answer. Her gaze dropped to the desk. Her fingers brushed the blotter near the letter. She paused. Her eyes narrowed. She touched the grains with care. The constable leaned. What is it, Miss Marple? Marple's voice quiet. Sand. Slack frowned. Sand. The streets are full of it. Marple shook her head. Not this kind. Fine, dry. It clings to ink. It belongs to a blotter, not a lane. She lifted the corner of the paper. A faint sprinkle fell. See? This letter touched a sanded blotter, not Fenner's. His desk holds only cloth. Dora gasped. Then someone else wrote it. Slack's face darkened, his jaw tight, his voice low. Someone in an office, someone with a blotter of sand. Marple's eyes fixed on the letter, her tone firm. Yes, and that is where the trail leads. The grains glimmered faintly on the blotter, and Marple whispered, This letter passed through hands not his own. Every stamp has a story. Marple lifted the envelope again. Her eyes traced the corner. She tilted the stamp under light. Small holes shone faint. Letters cut through the paper. "H.L.," she whispered. Slack leaned close. "What is that?" Marple answered calm. "A Perfin, initials cut by machine. Business stamps carry them. They show origin." Slack frowned. "Whose initials?" Marple's voice, steady. "Hugh Laura, the postmaster. Every sheet in his office bears the same mark." The constable's head jerked up. "Our own postmaster?" Slack shook his head. "Number Laura is trusted. He has held that office 10 years. Marple tapped the stamp. "Trust can hide theft. Systems carry secrets. The holes tell truth." Dora gasped. "So it was not me, not Colin. The stamp itself points to Laura." Slack growled. "Slow down. This proves only that his stock was used. Stamps can pass. Stamps can wander." Marple met his eyes. "Not with Perfins. They are cut for office use only. They cannot be bought in shops. They do not wander." Slack's lips pressed thin. "Then he gave it away, or lost it." Marple shook her head. "Lost stamps do not come with clove oil, sanded blotters, and false hands." The constable shifted, uneasy. "Sir, if Laura forged this, he framed Dora to hide himself." Slack muttered low. "And for what reason? What gain?" Marple's tone soft. "Gain is always found in money. Where stamps move, accounts follow." Dora cried again. "Then look at him. Search his desk. Ask his books." Slack slammed his palm flat. "Quiet. I will not accuse without proof." Marple's eyes sharpened. "Then find proof. Go to Moo, his office. His hands will show what the letter hides." Slack stood still, his mind heavy, his pride stung. The constable spoke again. "Sir, villagers already whisper. They say the postman brought lies. If we delay, the whispers grow louder." Slack turned to Marple. "You push hard for his guilt." Marple replied, calm. "I push only for truth, and the truth sits in his office, waiting." Slack exhaled, slow. He looked at Dora. He looked at the letter. He looked at the stamp. His voice dropped. "Very well. We go." The constable nodded quick. Dora's face lifted. Marple's eyes held steady. Slack turned for the door. "Bring lanterns. Bring records. We search his office tonight." The group set out, the letter still in Slack's hand, its H.L. holes pointing straight to the postmaster's desk. "Tools of a careful forger." The post office stood dark. Slack forced the lock. The constable lit a lamp. Laura's desk loomed large, drawers stacked, ledgers piled. Slack pulled one open, papers plain, bills, receipts, another drawer, pens, ink, seals, nothing strange. The constable bent lower. "Sir, this one sticks." Slack yanked. Wood scraped. A false back slid. Inside lay bottles, small, labeled. Clove oil, strong. Beside them, stamps, sheets half torn, each bearing H.L. Marple leaned in, her eyes sharp, her voice calm. Not lost, not stolen, kept. Slack's jaw tightened. He picked up a paper, lines filled with shaky writing, practice strokes. Fenner's hand copied again and again. The constable whispered, "Forged practice, sir." He studied his script. Slack set the sheet down. Oil, stamps, false letters, all here. Marple's voice low. "And blotter sand. Look." She lifted the tray. Fine grains clung. Dora gasped. "So it was him. He tried to bury me." Slack turned slow, his face grim, his voice harsh. "We have him." The constable swallowed. "Sir, shall we take him now?" Slack nodded once. "Tomorrow. Dawn. Let the village see the hand that forged." Marple spoke soft. "Truth shows itself. Yet truth also hides. Wait for what tomorrow brings." The night passed tight. Slack kept guard. Dora wept in silence. Marple sat calm. Morning broke. The postman entered pale. His hand shook. "Sir, another letter." Slack froze. "Another?" The constable took it, the stamp fresh, The mark clear. Slack tore it open. Again Dora's name. Again the claim. He muttered dark. He keeps writing. He pushes her guilt. Marple touched the page. Her voice steady. Number this one is rougher. Haste shows. The hand feared discovery. Dora's voice cracked. How many more? How long must I bear it? Marple looked at Slack, her tone calm. One letter may deceive. 2 expose the liar. His hand cannot stop. He signs his guilt with every page. Slack clenched his fist. He thinks to trap me, but he traps himself. The constable whispered. Then today we end it. Marple set the new letter beside the old, side by side. The lies spoke louder now. Slack leaned close to Marple and whispered, We have him. 1 letter could be chance. 2 feels like design. Inspector Slack slammed both letters on the desk. The papers shook. The constable stepped back. 1 letter is chance, Slack growled. 2 is no accident. This is a game. Dora sat pale, her hands tight, her eyes red. She whispered, How long will you doubt me? I did not write them. Slack shot her a glare. You benefit most. Every page screams your guilt. Dora shook her head. Number every page, screams his hand. He hides behind my name. Marple sat still, her knitting untouched, her eyes fixed on Slack. Slack turned to her. You defend her without reason. Why? Because she looks weak? Weak people kill, too. Marple answered quiet. I defend only what the paper tells me, and the paper speaks of forgery, not confession. Slack's fists clenched. Then tell me, why 2? Why risk again? If Laura forged one, why not stop there? The constable muttered, Fear, sir. He panicked. He thought one was not enough. Slack rubbed his brow. Sweat lined his temple. He muttered, Or he is not alone. Dora gasped. Not alone? Slack snapped. Think. Laura may have allies, a scheme, a partner. This could run deeper. Marple spoke soft. Perhaps. Or perhaps fear multiplies letters faster than reason. He repeats because he cannot rest. Slack turned away. His boots struck the floor. He muttered loud. I should have him in irons already, yet something holds me back. I do not like doubt. Dora whispered. Then listen to her. Listen to Miss Marple. She sees what you do not. Slack spun, his eyes fierce. Old tales, threads and whispers. I want proof. Proof that seals it. Until then, all is talk. Marple's voice, calm. Proof lies not only in the drawer. Proof lies in what others saw. Someone always sees. Someone always hears. The constable raised a brow. Who then? Marple folded her hands, her tone steady. Not yet. We are missing one voice. Slack frowned. One voice? Whose? Marple shook her head. Patience, Inspector. The village watches more than you think. The truth will speak when the right lips open. Slack cursed under his breath. He struck the table again. 2 letters stared back at him. 2 lies, 2 trails. Dora sat silent, hope faint in her eyes. Marple sat calm, certain in her tone. Slack's chest rose heavy. His pride fought his doubt. He hated that Marple's words made sense. He stared at the letters one last time. He whispered low, If there is one more voice, let it come soon. Marple leaned forward, her eyes bright, and said, Not yet. We are missing one voice. Some memories cut sharper than knives. The hall felt tense. Slack stood with arms folded. Dora sat near while Marple kept her eyes lowered. The constable entered. Sir, a villager wishes to speak. Slack sighed. Send them in, another tale to waste our time. An old widow shuffled forward. Her hands clutched her shawl. Her voice trembled. I saw him, the postmaster, near Fenner's house, that evening. Slack snorted. Evening? You mean after 5? She nodded. Yes, Inspector. I was walking home. He walked quick, his head down, straight past Fenner's gate. Slack waved a hand. Bah, he makes rounds. He often passes. That proves nothing. The widow frowned. Not at that hour. He never comes so late. I know his habits. That night he hurried. Marple lifted her head, her voice soft. Details matter. Tell us again. The hour? The widow answered steady. Close to 6. The bells had rung. My clock struck when I reached home. Dora gasped. You hear that? It was him, not me. Slack growled. Quiet. This is no court. One memory cannot hang a man. Marple leaned forward. Yet one memory can place him at the gate when he should not be there. Slack shook his head. Old eyes mislead. Old clocks run fast. The widow bristled. My eyes see well enough. My clock is wound each night. Marple nodded kindly. Thank you. What else did you notice? The widow hesitated. She twisted her shawl. There was a sound. Not then, later. Slack frowned. What sound? She lowered her voice. In the dark, near midnight. From the post office. A typewriter. Keys striking. Sharp. Fast. Too fast for that hour. Slack scoffed. You expect me to believe that? An old woman hears noises and makes murder from them. The widow's face hardened. Believe or not, my ears are not weak. I lay awake. I counted the strokes. Marple's eyes gleamed, her tone calm. A typewriter at midnight. Forged letters need keys. His office held them. Your ears caught what eyes missed. Dora whispered. Then it was him. He wrote them. After Fenner was gone. Slack muttered low. One villager's word, one shaky tale. I cannot rest a case on that. Marple's gaze stayed firm. Yet every stitch adds strength. The cloth is almost whole. Soon it will not tear. The widow bowed her head. I have said my part. She turned slow. She left the hall. The silence grew heavy. Slack rubbed his temple. His pride fought his doubt. Marple looked at the door, her voice soft. Memories cut sharper than knives, Inspector. They leave marks that cannot fade. The constable whispered, Sir. She heard a typewriter at odd hours. Ash does not hide truth. The night air carried smoke. The constable pointed. Sir, look there, behind the office. Slack hurried forward. Marple followed close. Dora trailed with heavy steps. A small fire glowed. Laura stood bent over it. His hands shook. Paper curled in flame. Slack shouted, Hold him! The constable lunged. He dragged Laura back. The fire hissed. Slack grabbed the iron poker. He pulled charred scraps free. Stamp mounts half burned. The letters Dell still cut clear. Marple bent low. She lifted a blackened bottle. The label faint. Clove oil. Dora gasped, her voice sharp. The same. He used it. Slack's eyes narrowed. You burn stamps. You burn guilt. Laura's face blanched. He stammered. I keep old stock. I clear waste. That is all. Marple's eyes fixed on him. Waste does not need clove oil. Waste does not carry practice sheets of another man's hand. Slack thrust the scraps in his face. You copied Fenner's writing, you forged letters, and now you burn proof. Laura shook his head. Number, you twist it. I only did what she asked. Dora's voice cracked. What I asked? Never. Laura pointed at her. Yes, Dora Pike. She begged me. She feared Fenner's tongue. She made me draft the letters to hide her guilt. Slack froze, his jaw tight. His eyes moved between them. Dora screamed. Lies, he frames me. He always frames me. Marple touched the ashes, her voice calm. Fear speaks louder than truth. His words shift like smoke. The constable whispered, Sir, the stamps match. The oil matches, the practice sheets match. All point to him. Slack muttered low, and yet he points back, to her. Marple's gaze stayed firm. The guilty often accuse. It buys them time, but time runs short. Laura shouted again. I did not kill Fenner. I only helped. She struck him. She feared the rope. She begged for my aid. Dora shook with rage. Her hands clenched. I was in my shop, I swear it. I did not kill him. I never touched him. Slack paced, back and forth. His boots scraped the dirt. Two voices clashed, one pleading, one accusing, both heavy with fear. Marple closed her eyes a moment, then she spoke, soft. Ash cannot hide truth. Fire burns lies, not proof. The proof remains. We will find it. Slack's hand gripped the scraps, his knuckles white, his voice low. Someone will hang for this. Laura's voice rose above the silence. It was Dora. She sent me. Confession is easy. Truth is harder. Laura sat in the chair, his wrists bound, his face pale, his lips trembled. Slack stood over him. Speak. Enough half-lies. Tell it straight. Laura lowered his head. I forged the letters. The room stiffened. Dora gasped. The constable leaned forward. Slack barked. Say it louder. Laura's voice rose. I forged them. I copied Fenner's hand. I used my stamps. I oiled the paper. I wrote her name. I sent them. Slack slammed the table. At last. Then you killed him, too. Laura's head jerked up. Number 9 did not kill Fenner. I never struck him. I feared him. Yes. I robbed the savings. Yes. But I did not take his life. Dora shouted. Liar! Laura snapped back. Believe or not, I forged, but I did not kill. Someone else struck him. Slack growled. You expect me to believe in halves? That you forge lies, but not the death itself? Marple's voice broke in. Confession is easy, Inspector. Truth is harder. He admits forgery to save himself from rope. But murder he still denies. Slack's jaw clenched. He twists words. Marple's eyes stayed calm. Perhaps. Or perhaps another hand did strike. The letter was one crime. The blow was another. The constable shifted. Sir, what if he speaks truth? His crime is forgery. The murder still open. Slack cursed low. Too many threads. I hate loose ends. Laura pressed on. I heard the quarrel. Fenner raged. But it was not me who answered him. Others quarreled too. Ask his kin. Ask his blood. Dora frowned. What do you mean? Laura sneered faint. Your nephew, Colin. He was seen. He argued loud. He wanted money. Fenner mocked him. He left swearing vengeance. Slack turned fast. His eyes narrowed. Is this true? The constable nodded slow. 2 villagers told me the same. Colin's voice carried from the garden. Harsh words. Bitter tone. Dora's face drained. No, not Colin. He is foolish, but not a killer. Marple's gaze sharpened. Yet quarrels grow quick. A word can spark a blow. Slack muttered dark. First Dora, then Laura, now Colin. Each name drags another. I will have truth if it cracks the whole village. Laura leaned back, his voice thin. I forged. I admit it. But I swear, I did not kill. Look to Colin. His anger was stronger than mine. Marple folded her hands, her voice calm. Fear bends the tongue. Yet in his words lies a thread. We must follow it. Slack looked at Dora. Her eyes begged. Her lips trembled. Her world cracked. The constable spoke low. Sir Colin was overheard quarreling with Fenner. Every lie folds on itself. The station air felt close. Papers lay scattered. 2 forged letters. 1 confession half true. Inspector Slack paced. His boots struck the floor. He muttered, Too many names. Too many stories. Marple sat calm. Her eyes moved slow. Her hands folded neat. She spoke, steady. Let us measure. Times, alibis, words. Each must fit, or each must fail. Slack turned sharp. Then fit them. Show me. Marple lifted 1 finger. Dora Pike. She left Fenner at 4:40. Witnesses saw her in her shop at 5. At 6, she sold bread. Her alibi holds firm. Slack grunted. Convenient alibi. Still possible she slipped back. Marple raised a 2nd finger. Colin Fenner. He quarreled with Basil. Villagers heard. His anger ran deep. Yet no proof he entered the house. Dora whispered, "He is hot-headed." "Yes, but he is no killer." Slack's jaw tightened. Hot blood often spills more than words. Marple raised a third finger. "Hugh Laura. He admits forgery. He burned stamps. He kept clove oil. His hand shaped the letters. But he denies." "The blow." Slack growled. "Denial means nothing." Marple leaned forward. "Yet timing matters. Fenner died at 5:10. The letter stamped at 7:42. The typewriter used near midnight. Who moves so late?" The constable spoke quiet. "Miss Marple, you think Laura wrote them after the death?" Marple nodded once. "Yes, he panicked. He forged. He framed. But did he strike? That still hides." Slack slammed his hand down. "Then who struck? I need the hand, not the ink." The door creaked. A boy stepped in, small, thin, an errand lad. He held his cap tight. Slack barked. "What is it?" The boy swallowed, his voice small. "I saw him, the postmaster, late that night, in his office." Slack froze. "Late? What hour?" The boy answered quick. "Near midnight. I ran past. I heard keys, a typewriter, fast, hard." He sat at the desk. I saw his back. I heard every stroke. Dora gasped. "You hear that?" Another saw it. Slack stared, his voice low. "You're sure it was him?" The boy nodded fast. "Yes, sir." The lamp burned. His hands moved quick. He did not see me. Marple's eyes softened. "Thank you, child. You gave what we needed. You saw the hand that wrote what the dead could not." Slack rubbed his temple. "So he lied again. First denies, then twists. Now this." Marple's voice rose firm. "Every lie folds on itself, Inspector. The cloth cannot hold. It tears." Dora's shoulders shook, her eyes wet. "Then I am free, at last." Slack exhaled heavy. "Free of the letters, perhaps, but the murder still open." Marple's gaze sharpened, her voice final. "Not for long." Marple stood, her eyes steady, and said, "Now it is clear. One last letter seals it all." The room fell silent. Laura sat bound. His eyes darted, his lips pressed tight. Inspector Slack loomed. "Speak plain. Enough tricks." Laura shook his head. "I told you. I forged the letters, but I did not kill him." Dora spat back. "Liar! Every page shows your hand." Slack slammed the desk. "Confession means nothing when you twist it. We need proof." Marple spoke calm. "Then let us take proof. His hand cannot resist its habit." Slack frowned. "What do you mean?" Marple's eyes glinted. "Give him paper. Give him pen." Watch Laura stiffened. "Number I will not write." Marple leaned forward. "You cannot help yourself. Forgers itch to prove their craft. The hand betrays the man." Slack shoved paper across the desk. "Write, Laura. Write what I say." Laura's voice trembled. "No." Marple's tone soft. "Even silence speaks." "But try holding it, Inspector. Ask him for simple words." Slack growled. "Write, Dora Pike is guilty." Laura's eyes widened. His fingers shook. He stared at the page. The constable waited. The boy watched. Dora's breath held. Laura reached, slow, reluctant. His hand gripped the pen. Marple whispered low, "He cannot resist." The nib touched paper. He wrote fast, letters tight, heavy strokes, the same as before. Slack leaned close. The words formed. Dora Pike is guilty. Slack's fist hit the table. Same hand, same press, same false lines. Laura dropped the pen. His face white, his lips dry. I only did what she wanted." Marple shook her head. "Truth folds. Habit unmasks. You wrote again, before us all, the same strokes, the same weight. Your hand does not change." Dora cried out. "See, he cannot stop. Even now he forges against me." The constable muttered, "It is done." His guilt shows itself. He proved it here. Slack's voice was heavy. "His lies are endless. He burns stamps, he hides oil, he writes false words. He cannot resist his own ruin. Marple's eyes stayed steady. One last letter seals it all. He forged again, and now he stands exposed. Laura's shoulders sagged. His head dropped. His silence deeper than words. The page lay on the desk, his hand fresh upon it, proof against his own denial. Fear, not hate, killed Basil Fenner. Laura sat slumped, his face drained. The forged page lay before him. Slack's voice cut. Enough silence. Speak. You are caught. Laura's lips trembled. His eyes darted. His voice broke. Yes, I forged. I lied, but more. Yes, I struck him, too. The room stiffened. Dora covered her mouth. The constable froze. Slack leaned forward. You killed Basil Fenner? Laura nodded weak. Yes. I feared him, not hate. Fear. He knew. He saw my thefts. I had drained the savings, small amounts at first, then more, too much. He checked the accounts. He said he would report me. Marple whispered, So fear moved your hand. Laura's voice shook. I begged him. He laughed. He called me a thief. He said prison waited. I panicked. The doorstop lay by the chair. I lifted it. One blow. Quick. He fell. Dora gasped. You murdered him, and you dared to name me. Laura hid his face. I had no plan. My hands shook. I locked the door. I fled. But then fear again. Fear he would be traced to me. I thought to frame another. Dora had quarreled with him. The whole village knew. Her name fit the lie. Slack's jaw tightened. So you wrote the letters? Laura nodded slow. Yes, that night. I used my stamps, my ink. I practiced his hand. I wrote her name again and again. I posted them late. I thought the time would clear me. The dead man could speak against her. The constable muttered, All for money, all for theft. Laura sobbed. I never meant to kill, only to hide. But each lie grew larger, one letter, then another. The ashes, the stamps, the oil. I thought I could burn it all, but fire betrayed me. Marple spoke soft. Fear, not hate, killed Basil Fenner. Fear of shame, fear of law. Fear drives deeper than anger. Slack stood tall, his voice heavy. You used trust. The village relied on you. Their savings, their letters, their lives. You broke it all? Laura whispered. I was weak. Weak men clutch at lies, but lies always choke. Dora cried out. You would have seen me hanged, me innocent, me ruined. Laura dropped his head, his voice flat. I cared only to save myself. Marple's eyes glistened faint. Truth comes late, but it comes. No lie lives forever. Slack's gaze hardened. He looked at Laura bound. He spoke low. The postmaster of trust, undone by lies. Letters travel far, but lies travel faster. The station grew quiet. Laura sat bound. His head hung low. His guilt spoken, his lies undone. Dora leaned weak in her chair, her face pale. Her hands trembled, but her eyes held relief. Slack shut his book. The case is ended. The postmaster stands guilty. The law will take him. Dora looked at him, her voice cracked. You would have taken me, Inspector. Without her, I would hang. Slack shifted, his jaw set. He muttered low. I followed the letter. It led me astray. Marple's voice broke the silence. Letters travel far, Inspector. But lies travel faster. Only patience slows them. The constable spoke soft. The villagers whisper still. They said Dora was guilty. They will need time to forget. Marple turned to Dora, her tone gentle. Time clears shadows. Truth does not vanish, but it steadies. You will walk free again. Dora's eyes filled. You saved me, Miss Marple. Without you, who would listen? No one cared for detail, only noise. Marple's gaze softened. I only listened. Small things matter. Stamps, ink, sand. They told the truth when men refused to hear it. Dora lowered her head, her voice faint. And Colin? He quarreled. He too was blamed. Marple nodded once. His anger was real, but anger is not always murder. He is cleared. His guilt was only words. Dora's shoulders eased, her breath steadied. Then the village will see him different. Slack sighed heavy. They will see betrayal instead. Their postmaster stole from them. He killed for fear. Their trust lies broken. The constable added, "Trust will not mend quick." They gave him their savings, their letters, their secrets. He burned it all. Marple folded her hands. Yet justice restores what trust breaks, slowly, but it restores. He will pay. The village will heal. Dora's lips quivered. I lived under suspicion. Faces turned cold. I will not forget it. Marple leaned close. Suspicion cuts deep. Forgiveness heals, but scars remain. Let scars remind you of truth, not fear. Slack cleared his throat, his voice rough. I judged too soon. I followed the easy trail, the false one. I will not forget it either. Marple looked at him. Even law can stumble, Inspector, but law also learns. That is its strength. The constable closed the ledger. Then we are done here. Dora rose unsteady. She whispered, not done. For me it begins again. I must live again, cleared yet scarred. Marple placed a hand on her arm. You will live stronger. Truth freed you. That is its gift. Slack turned away, his voice a murmur. Trust lost, justice won, but both leave a mark. The room emptied slow. Steps faded, doors shut. Marple lingered last, her eyes on the letters, her voice quiet. Paper lies, yet paper also proves. One must read with care. She gathered her knitting. She rose to leave. And yet, behind every letter waits another hand.